Hello and welcome to our latest unboxing video. I'm Eliza here at the Hatfield Public Library with a big box of kids' books. Hooray! I'm going to start with one where we kind of maybe missed the ball on it a little bit because Pride Month just ended. But I think people are interested in Pride year round, and this one is super cute. It's called Pride Puppy, and it looks like it's about a word book about a dog that goes to a Pride parade. We have another board book, Diggers Love to Go to School. Oh, this is so good. It's by Brianna, Caplan, Sayres, illustrated by Christian Slade. Seems like a really good bet for a kid who loves diggers, especially if they're maybe a little nervous, about going to school. We have this very small Pokemon complete pocket guide too, for anyone who needs to reference a Pokemon. We have Team Unihorn and Woolly. This is by Alexis Frederick-Frost. This is the Attack of the Krill in this sort of like early reader graphic novel series. A little bit like the Jelly and Narwhal books. Everything is completely jumbled up in this box. So sorry if we're going back and forth from like picture to chapter. This is Night of the Living Dead. Never underestimate. I'm sorry, Night of the Living Ted. I read it right, but I said it wrong. Never underestimate a teddy bear. So this is like scary. I don't think it's like nightmare-inducing scary. I think it's more like silly scary. We've had a lot of requests from kids for more scary books. And this is by Barry Hutchinson, and it's illustrated by Lee Cosgrove. Release the Wolves by Stefan Bachman. The Hunt Begins at Midnight. Ooh, so this is an older chapter book. 1,000 years ago, the Eldorari conquered the world of Varan, so it's a magical world, and they have a terrible tradition. Bloodthirsty monsters are unleashed across the land, and they keep the population in a perpetual dark age. Oh no, and the main character, wow, this starts dark. The main character's best friend is killed by a monster, and looks like he's trying to figure out a way to maybe stop this whole cycle. That's what you got to do. We have Under This Table, back to picture books. This is by Allan Ahlberg, longtime just famous children's author, illustrator. Allan Ahlberg used to write with his wife. I think she passed away. And the other author is Bruce Ingman. And what happens when you're having an ordinary day and you discover that there's a big gray elephant hiding under the table? Oh my gosh, that looks so fun. We're definitely going to bring that to my house. We have Brandon and the Baby by Brian Pinkney. Yes, so this is about a kid who gets a new brother and needs to adjust. We always need lots of books about this because it's something that is always happening and is really hard, and whatever the age difference. We have The Spaceman by Randy Cecil. This is so sweet. Oh my gosh, I just love this cover. And so this is about a spaceman who lands on another planet performing dull tasks for his boring job, but then he gets snatched by a passing bird, and he becomes friends with a hairy, waggy-tailed beast. Oh, I think he becomes friends with a dog. This looks really fun, and also just like, oh, there's the dog, an imaginative adventure. This Baby, That Baby by Kari Best and Rasheen Karahin. Oh my goodness. I mean, if you read to kids, that they just love reading about babies. Like toddlers love reading about babies, preschoolers love reading about babies. I think it helps them make sense of themselves. So this looks fun. George Takei, the famous George Takei, My Lost Freedom. And this is about his story being a Japanese American during World War II. He's written about this as an adult. So now there is a picture book version, a little more on the serious side. Oh, phew. We got another butt or face book. This is our second butt or face book, a popular new series where you look at animals and try to figure out if the photo is a butt or a face. And oh my gosh. Yeah, it's a tricky game, but fun for kids. We have all around Bustletown spring. So that's sort of fun. I think this is just one of those ones where it's very fun. If you don't feel like turning a lot of pages, you can just spend a lot of time on each page looking with your kid. We have The Soil in Jackie's Garden, words by Peggy Thomas and art by Neely Daggett. But also something significant about this book is that it opens this way. It's a sideways book. Ride Beside Me by Lucy Knisley. Um, so this is so this is about a neighborhood that's trying to promote biking, and so the family joins in a big community bike ride, and it's just all about that story. Temporarily back to chapter books, we have Wildfire by Brianna Barn. Actually, this book is so heavy. I think it's a graphic novel. I can tell just by feeling the weight because the graphic novel pages are heavier. They're in color, they're bright and beautiful. And so this is about a girl who lived in rural Oregon. She was in the 4 H, and then a wildfire destroyed her family's home, and they had to relocate to Portland. Oh my gosh. Real thing that's really happening. The Sixth Extinction, an Unnatural History by Elizabeth Colbert. This goes with our summer reading program theme about taking care of the earth, and this is the child-friendly version of the adult book. Though honestly, I think some adults, this stuff can be pretty dense to read through, so I think that some adults might be interested too. We have a Pete the Cat for Class President. I wish this was not such a thin paperback. Sometimes it's hard. You don't realize when you're ordering if something is a very thin paperback. But The Perfect Place by Matt de la Peña, illustrated by Paulo Escobar. And so it's this about a kid. It says he goes to a perfect school in a perfect neighborhood and he gets perfect grades, but his home life is maybe in a different neighborhood and not so perfect. And so he sort of talks about the emotions of how that feels to go back and forth. Let's see. We have the Pronoun book by Chris Ayala-Kronos and Melita Tirado about helping kids understand different pronouns. I know that this can be very confusing, and so this is just, it seems like a very friendly, colorful way to introduce that. We have My Two Moms and Me. Twice the moms mean twice the love. So this is nice for families with two mothers. We have a lot in town, and it's really great for kids. We talk in children's books about having windows to see other people's lives, and then also mirrors that let you sort of see your own life. Looking for Peppermint or Life in the Forest by Maxwell Eaton III. And Peppermint wandered off into the woods. Oh, okay. So this is you're trying to track her down. It sounds like it's got a little bit of an interactive component. That's a fun concept. Looks like we have maybe like 5 more. Don't worry, one of them is a Bluey book. We have a Easter Bluey book. This is very random. We're not even remotely close to Easter, but I guess sometimes things they come when they come, and it looks really fun. We have Black History Heroes by Mae Jameson, Shooting for the Stars, the first Black woman in space. Nice, friendly paperback, looks very accessible. The Big Book of Useless Knowledge, 250 of the coolest, weirdest, and most unbelievable facts you won't be taught in school. This seems like a great book for someone. Oh my gosh, I'm curious already. The Dino Egg Sauna. This seems like if you have a kid at home who's kind of bored and maybe just wants to be on electronics all the time, this seems like the kind of book. You could be like, look at some of these cool random facts. And again, a little late, but we have a Juneteenth book, Juneteenth cookbook. We'll have this ready for next year, but worth looking at in the meantime. And last of all, this is so sweet looking. We have this book of poetry comics by Grant Snyder. So if you want to introduce a kid to poetry in sort of a very friendly, picture-filled way, this looks... I love this. It's all poems, but they also, each one has its own little accompanying illustration. I've never really seen that before. Poetry comics. It's a good concept. Okay, that was it. That was my whole big box of kids' books. And we will get these on the shelf and then be back with more. Bye.